On YouTube, JamieTheKid00 here, coming to you guys with my first deck profile for the January 2014 Yu-Gi-Oh! Limited and Forbidden list. I decided it was going to be a wind-ups, and yes, the Zen Mighty is a joke. I really wanted Zen Mighty to come back, and it didn't, so we'll get rid of the Zen Mighty and we'll actually take this deck profile seriously. This is my first draft. This is something I've literally just built due to the new list, and I really wanted to profile it because I've been playing wind-ups, and I'm probably going to be playing wind-ups for the first locals under the new ban list, which I should be at on the 21st, because my TO is playing by the new ban list on the 21st, so I'll be playing this deck there, hopefully. So I'm just going to profile this to you guys, and I really want you guys to let me know what you think. It's my first draft, as I've already said, and I can't wait to test this out, because I love wind-ups, I love playing the deck. And a couple of the changes, I guess, help this deck become a little more consistent. It's still pretty clunky. It can still open dire hands, but it's a little bit more consistent now. It can make plays a lot more easily. So we're going to start off the deck profile with 3 copies of the Wind-Up Rabbit, because the Wind-Up Rabbit is the guy who gets stuff done in this deck. He recycles so many of your plays. He's your factory worker. He gets Wind-Up Factory going like you wouldn't believe. So 3 Wind-Up Rabbit, in my opinion, is a must. He works really well in tandem with the 3 copies of Wind-Up Rat that we play in the deck. The Wind-Up Rat is essential for one of your OTK plays with your Papal Imperative, or Papal Operative, I don't care how I say it. And he's also really cool with the Wind-Up Rabbit recursion system. If you can have a rabbit continuously returning this, and then you can like normal summon a guy and exceeds with the rabbit after you've banished the rat again, it's just, you can get so many pluses off of just continuously recurring the rat. So it's a really good situation to have a rat and a rabbit continuously returning from being banished, so you can keep getting free exceeds every turn. Continuing on, we have 3 copies of Wind-Up Shark. Wind-Up Shark is integral for basically your big pushes. He's essential for your rank 5 pushes, which are your real power pushes. He's also essential for the tandem plays with the Wind-Up Magician that we play. We only play 1 Wind-Up Magician because he's at 1. I'd be interested to actually test this deck in the Japanese format, where Wind-Up Magician is at 3 and Shark is at 1. But in my opinion, I prefer it this way around, because Shark is more versatile in other situations. So that's that. And then the only other Wind-Up monster we play is 1 copy of Wind-Up Warrior, because Wind-Up Warrior works really, really well in tandem with MX Saber Invoker, kind of forming a pseudo Zen Mighty. It's like a imitation Zen Mighty, so it does a job. Then, because this is my first meta call of the new format appears, in my opinion, to be quite slowed down and very search-oriented. It looks like Bujin's Fire Fist and other kind of slower controller decks are going to be quite powerful. Things like Mermail are still going to be quite good, and Prophecy, but in my opinion, a lot of the decks are going to be quite search-oriented. So I feel that Thunder King is a pretty good main deck for the new format. So this is my first meta call. I have cut Max C's from this build now. I was playing 3 Max C, of course, in the old format. But now I feel that the decks are going to be slowing down quite a lot, and the Maxi is only going to prove useful against decks like this and wind-ups, and a lot less useful against Bujin and Fire and things like that. So, yeah, Thunder King is my meta call. I then play 1 Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Bear. Bear is in here for 2 reasons. 1, because he's really good with Tenki, and 2, because he searches Tenki to get to your rabbit quicker. Sometimes you just get dead hands where you have like a bear and a shark, or a bear and a rat right at the start, and you want to try and use their spare as soon as possible to try and get to your Tenki to get to the rabbit, because sometimes you have like bear, rat, factory, and you can't do anything with that because that rat can't activate. There's no way you can activate that rat. So you're going to try and get the hit in with this bear to then try and activate your factory. So he's really good. And then we're going to move on to the first thing that the list has changed of this deck. We're then playing not 2 copies, but 3 copies of Tour Guide from the Underworld. Tour Guide from the Underworld went to 3 on the new Limited and Forbidden list, and I couldn't be happier about that fact. It gives this deck a few more consistent plays. It lets this deck do Tour Guide twice. So Tour Guide is now at 3 in this list, and it will be staying at 3 in this list. And the last card that I'm going to be playing in accompaniment with those Tour Guides is Night Assailant. Night Assailant I felt was the best choice to play because we can't play Sangan. So I played Night Assailant over Torbus, because although Torbus helps me recycle some of my cards, which I do have a problem with in this deck, recycling is a big problem in this deck, and I'm not a big fan of Pot of Dichotomy in the deck. Night Assailant is a really good card because if you draw it, you can set it and he's removal, which is really good in tandem with your little rabbits, so you can do rabbit pokes. It's also really good in tandem with Bear. So Night Assailant is a thing. And that brings us to the end of our monster count. So I forget how many monsters it is. You guys can work it out. The deck list should be in the description below by the time I upload and finish this video. We're now going to move on to the spells. There are a lot of 3-ofs in here. There are a lot of spells, a lot more spells. So we're playing 1 Dark Hole for a 1-off, 1 Book of Moon, 2 copies of Mystical Space Typhoon. This is probably going to go up to 3 in a later incarnation, but 2 is what I'm at the moment. So 2 Mystical Space Typhoon, 3 copies of Pot of Duality. 3 Duality helps me get to my combo pieces quicker. A lot of people will say, but you special summon so often in this deck. Yes, you do, but it's a very combo-based deck, and it is susceptible to opening some pretty dire hands a lot of the time. So you need to have access to the Pots of Duality to really set yourself up. If you're going to be going off in a turn, if you have everything you need, you won't activate the Pot of Duality, and you'll more than likely set it as a bluff. However, if you don't have everything you need, you're going to have these Pots of Duality to get you to the things that you need. Because there are quite a few slow cards in the deck, like Bear, Night Assailant, Thunder King, Wind Up Rabbit, and such. So it's not a bad card in and of the slightest. So, yeah, that's all I want to say about that. Continuing on, we play 3 copies of Wind Up Factory in lovely Aufsei Fabrik German. You need to play 3 Factory. You need to keep this deck consistent. You need to have backup plays continually come into your hand as fast as you can. So every time you make a play, you can have a backup play in your hand in case it goes south. So 3 copies of Wind Up Factory. And then 3 copies of Fire Formation Tenki, another change on the list. Which I'm happy about, because I play 4 Tenki targets, and I'm considering playing Hunter, because the format has slowed down. Hunter could be quite useful in ripping some of the good cards in your opponent's hand out of their hand in the grind game, so this can have a potential 5 targets in the deck. As 4 at the moment, those being my 3 Wind-Up Rabbits and 1 Bear, so in my opinion you need to get to the Rabbits and the Bear as quickly as possible in this, so 3 Tenki is a must. So I'll be playing 3 Tenki for the foreseeable future until I'm given good reason not to. Then finally we're going to move on to the traps. Literally nothing has changed about the traps, and I'm sorry about all the banging about outside. I'm not sure what's going on. Everyone's moving out the flat today. For the traps, we play double Call of the Haunted. I like Call of the Haunted in this deck at the moment, but because a big problem with this deck is if you have 1 normal summon a turn, you don't really have anything else. If that normal summon is stopped, you basically have to stop what you're doing for that turn and kind of come back next turn and try again. So Call of the Haunted gives you access to a second way to drop a monster on field, whether it be special summoning out a rat, which is usually the play you want to go for. If you like summon a rat or try and Magician Shark and your opponent stops you, you can Call of the Haunted back a rat and make a rat play or something like that. It just gives you a secondary option play, and it's pretty cool in battle phase when you can go like say just like normal. You've got this face down, you summon a rat, make a 3 rank 3. Attack over your opponent's monster, and then like Call of the Haunted a Bear, attack direct with a Bear and get a Tenki, so it's pretty nice. It just has a few good interactions with quite a few good cards in here. And also my favourite interaction in this deck is the fact that if your opponent activates any of their search cards, and you've got this face down and a Thunder King engrave, they go Tenki, you can just go Call of the Haunted Thunder King and that Tenki will fizzle. If they go Rotor, things like that, so you can just Call of the Haunted Thunder King and it stops that, which is a pretty good counter to those cards in just making your opponent go -1. Then I play double Deep Prison. I like Deep Prison now that the dragons have gone to 1. The dragon deck is gone. So this card comes up in a bit of validity. It's still pretty bad against Bujins, but it's good against the decks that dump Hare first. Some decks dump Turtle first, which is quite bad for this. But if they dump the Hare and then try and swing, and you can deprison them, it's a pretty good feeling knowing that they're locked out there. Even though Hare is still only out in Japan, I've been playing a lot of Dueling Network on my OCG list, so I'm treating it like it's a card that's already out now. But Dimension Prison, it's a good card in my opinion, so I'm going to be playing this for quite a while. Then double Mirror Force. I don't like Fiendish Chain at the moment. I might put it in over the Prisons, but at the moment I like removal over effect negation. So double Mirror Force is a thing. It's just good effective removal, good effective mass removal, so why not? And then for the one-offs, I play 1 Compulse, 1 Bottomless, 1 Torrential, and 1 Solemn Warning. For rounding us off at 10 traps, I believe. And we're running out of batteries, so we're going to hurry this up when we move on to the extra deck. So the extra is fairly simple. 6 rank 3s, 5 rank 4s and 4 rank 5s. It's a bit weird. So we're going to be playing for our rank 3s. 1 Acid Golem, the biggest beater. It's good under Skill Drain. If you're stuck under Skill Drain, this will get you out of it. Leviathan Dragon, slightly smaller beater, but a little less burny, so he's a good option. And I found myself in situations where once my Acid Golem had died, if I didn't have a second beat stick, I was stuck with subpar rank 3s in a situation where I needed to make big beat sticks to win beat stick wars. So having 2 of these is also pretty good because now we make rank 3s a lot more with the additional tour guide. So 2 beat sticks is a thing. Then 1 Leviair. This gets you so many combo plays, so the Leviair has to be in there. Mech-equipped Engineer. I thought that Engineer was superior to Zen mains, so I picked that over Zen mains, but I'm still juggling between the 2. Zen mains is a bit better now because Big Eye is less of a thing, but Engineer helps you out in a lot of OTK plays, getting around Swift Scarecrow, and also just protecting your big monsters that you may wish to protect. So Engineer, Tempo, with a rise in Xyz monsters that I feel could happen. Tempo is just there and is really good in tandem with the Maestroke, which we also play. But this is another card that I feel could possibly change for something else. I am really liking Fortune Tune at the moment for recycling, but that's that. And then the final rank 3 I play is MX Saber Invoker, because MX Saber Invoker is able to get Wind Up Warrior and continue your combo plays. For the assorted rank 4s, it's a bit of a utility deck in the rank 4 section, but I guess it does its job fairly well. There aren't really any aggressive rank 4s, but there are a lot of destructive rank 4s and a lot of disruptive cards. So I play the 1 Cowboy. This doubles as your 800 for game because you always have to 800 for game. There have been so many situations in which I've been 800'd and it's just not pleasant, but you have to have it in there in my opinion. And it can also serve in an aggressive role of the 1500 swing. The 1 Diamond Direwolf, that's mainly for the removal. This is really easy to make, and it really works quite well in tandem with your Wind Up Rabbit because you have the Wind Up Rabbit you can bounce out of the way, and it'll still destroy something, so that's pretty cool. The Maestroke, this is your out to Ophion. Even though Evil Swarms aren't going to be that good in the new meta, you do have to have an out to that, and it's also really good at just dealing with any problem card. Flipping stuff face down is quite hard for a lot of things to stop, so it's pretty good there. The Abyss Dweller, Mermails are going to be quite good in the new format, so I feel that Abyss Dweller is a staple to have in the extra deck. And then finally the Photon Papal Imperative, which is very good for your plays rather than disrupting your opponent. It's good for a lot of your OTK plays. Switching the rat to attack mode is a big play, so it's in there, and it does come in handy for actually switching your opponent's stuff quite frequently. But you'll more often than not use it to switch your rats to attack mode. Then for your 5s and the 7 that we play, of course, is we play 1 Tyrus, 1 Zenmayo, and 1 number 61. Number 61 for the OTK push. Zenmayo for dealing with face downs, which happens a surprising amount if you're able to make pretty good reads and work out that your opponent's face downs aren't responsive to summon, and there aren't that many responsive to summon cards at the moment. You're able to make this at correct timings and blow up maybe two of their battle traps, or just 2 traps that just can't activate at this point in time. So it's pretty good in that regard. And then Tyrus is a good generic in my opinion. So I like Tyrus as a generic, and these 2 serve a very unique purpose. And then Gaia Dragon is here mainly for the Volcasaurus play. You can sometimes make it over Zenmayo as well if you need to make the piercing play for a game push, but you'll almost always only use it with Volcasaurus. But yeah, that's about everything I wanted to talk about. And then there's the Zen Mighty that I wish came back. Otherwise, that's about everything I want to talk about wind-up-wise. I hope you guys have enjoyed this deck profile for the new format. Let me know in the comment section below or on my Facebook page, which will be linked in the description, what decks you want to see for the new format. Otherwise, I think that's about everything. I'll see you guys later. This has been Jamie the Kid 00, and yeah, it's going to be a good format.